Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to conduct a little thought exercise, do a little pretending, a little imagining, and we're going to try to come up with a step by step, comprehensive plan to address one of the larger problems in the United States. We're going to do this because somebody sent me a message saying, hey, you give us thought exercises all the time. Here's one for you. Why don't you set your ideological hangups aside and try to help us come up with a plan, a comprehensive step-by-step plan to address mass incidents. Okay. I added a couple of additional criteria. One, it's got to be something I think will work. Two, it needs to be something that can survive the Supreme Court. And three, it has to be within the Overton window of the United States. My version of utopia is different than most people's. So it has to be something that would fit within the mainstream of the United States. Okay, so first thing, raise the age to 21. Raise the age to 21. Now, you're going to get pushback immediately because people are going to say, you can enlist in the Army at 18 and go over and fight and not be yeah, you can carve out an exemption for that. You can. Assign criminal liability to those who would provide unsupervised access to firearms for those under the age of 21. And then enhanced liability if the person under 21 does something with them bad, hurt somebody. So just allowing it, there's liability there. And if they do something, you're on the case with them. For the 900th time on this channel, close all the DV loopholes. Start with the boyfriend loophole. Start there. But close them all. And that's, you get a conviction there, that's permanent prohibition. The markers are way too significant there. Temporary prohibitions for any violent conviction. That little scuffle you got into in the parking lot, well, now you can't own for 3 years, 7 years, 5 years. Y'all can argue about that in the comment section. Permanent prohibition for hurting animals. You start here. Now this seems pretty simple stuff, right? This would impact almost all mass incidents. I can't actually think of an exception offhand, but I mean, I'm sure there is one. These suggestions here, they're all behavior or age-based. Two things that the Supreme Court has traditionally upheld. Nobody's going to look at this and say, oh, it's an attack on the second. It's an attack on behavior. Okay? None of this disproportionately impacts either the working class, people of low means. It doesn't disproportionately impact marginalized groups, with maybe the exception of the DV loopholes because of the way police charge stuff and go after different demographics in the U.S. And that's something that needs to be addressed as well. But you're not banning anything. You're going after age and behavior alone. But this is only a Band-Aid. You also have the real problem, which is that people want to do this kind of stuff. So you have to trigger a cultural shift within the gun crowd. So you need steps for that. First, ban all advertisement that ties it to the military. Start there. Think about the way certain products can't be advertised to kids. Eliminate that tie. Reach out to Hollywood. Make the tactical world a subject of ridicule constantly. Just reach out. Explain how important it is that we shift thought on this issue. The Department of Defense can provide basic training with no obligation to serve. Allow them to come out and go through boot. Be brought into that warrior culture rather than that tactical culture. Make it not about might makes right, but selfless service. And you can incentivize it in some way, a tax break or, a year of college, something. But you get them out there and you put them in situations that test them, that push them a little bit and bring the actual warrior ethos into them rather than just them having the clothes and the gear. I think that might help. The advertising campaign for that could also tie into the idea of ridiculing the tactical world. Come out for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. Do you want to be a warrior or want to be? Something like that. You need a campaign against misogyny and racism. Pretty coordinated one. You could reach out to Hollywood, but the same type of stuff. It needs to be very comprehensive. It needs to be in schools. It needs to be everywhere, because those two things have a lot to do with these mass incidents. So that's going to help with the cultural shift. Now, the other thing you want to do is relieve the pressure on things that don't necessarily seem to directly relate. We need better social safety nets. If you look at the profiles, what you'll find is that most of them had multiple stressors hit them at one time, and that's what kind of built up to it. And often one of those stressors is economic, so help relieve it there. We need that anyway, but it assists in this problem. Another is Medicare for all with mental health care, and make it available. So you get a multi-pronged approach here that limits access of those people who are displaying the behaviors. So you're not going after everybody. So you're not going to get this wide pushback. You're not banning anything. You're not encroaching on that sacred Second Amendment. You're helping to shift the culture. And you're providing the tools to alleviate some of the stress and perhaps get treatment. And honestly, this all seems pretty easy. I mean, none of this seems that hard. When you compare this to some of the other things that are suggested, it seems like we should probably try this. This might be the way to go. So there's your thought exercise for the day. If you have other suggestions, put them down below. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.